Welcome back for another training video on the Podio Powerhouse Max acquisition software. My name is Carson, the Podio developer for this system. I'm going to be taking you through the Podio apps for the offers, contracts, and walkthrough apps in this training. Now, as we come and look, these are fairly sequential. Once a lead gets qualified enough, you decide it's worth making an offer, you make that offer, and hopefully they accept it and becomes a signed contract, and you start lining up all those details. Usually during that period, you're going to send someone out to do an in-depth walkthrough and sign off on everything and really get your budget solidified, right? So to look at these, we're going to start in a seller lead file. So let's go ahead and jump onto our trusty old George Washington demo lead here. And couple things you need to make sure you have ready before sending it over to the offers app. And as we scroll down here, it's really these internal purchase details. We need to make sure that we've got an estimate of what that ARV is going to be. We've put together some rough idea, and ultimately we have to say, what are we planning to offer? Okay. Once we get that stuff put in, the other details that are helpful is just if you'll confirm down in the property detail section, things such as the property type, this stuff, occupancy, even like square footage. Hopefully you know enough to have the real numbers now, not just what they rattled off on that initial call. So I would double check all of that before sending it to the offers app. It all gets pulled through. Now, you could edit it over there once it's there if you realize it's wrong, but confirming the details here first is a good practice. So once you've got all that set up and you are for sure sending out an offer and sending them something with this, it happens here in the next manual action because you're taking a manual action to say, hey, we need to push this to the offers app. And when you click that button, it runs some flows in the background, and you're going to see some stuff popping up over here to say what's happened or what's going on. And just a quick side note for you, there are some pieces as it pushes over to the offers app that it kind of pre-fills, like how long we have for due diligence or what certain fees are going to be. And we haven't looked much in our trainings, but all of that stuff happens in this back-end Citrix Podio workflow automation. And so there are flows that come installed with your system that have things such as the push to offer flow. And these are super simple when you look at really what they are. It's just a rule. If this button gets clicked, do this thing. And in this case, if we click push to offers app, then we're going to update the stage to say it's in offers app, and we're going to run off and create that offer item. And you can see there's a lot of pre-filled things here, like our earnest money, $1. I know some people that say $1, some people say 100. Whatever that is, you can go ahead and put in your amounts so that every time you do it, it's just automated. You don't have to adjust the offer paperwork when you get over there. Period for inspections, however many days you like, or however many days after. All of that stuff, these defaults are set here in this backend system. Okay, so you shouldn't have to come here unless you want to make that change, and then once you change it, it's going to be that way on everything going forward. You don't have to come here often by any means. I just wanted you to know what was possible with that. After it's pushed over, we do see that a new offer is created referencing this item. And that's actually a link. If you just click right there, it is now moved us over, and we can see in our breadcrumbs up here that we are in that offers app. And we can see what's laid out here. Which lead was this connected to? Make sure we have the address here just listed out. And then you see the info that it pulled over, like that offer amount we talked about, the default that we had. And we can adjust any of these if we need to, but it just starts with those preset defaults for us. Okay. If you need to adjust any dates or anything, you can do that. And things like closing to be held at, that is going to be a drop-down selection from your contacts app. And if you've listed out your different contacts or title companies or banks, there'll be options in there that you can select. Then once you've filled out all those details, made sure that those variables are correct, that's when you can go ahead and say, all right, go ahead and generate that document, that PDF for this offer. And when you click on that, it is going to run a flow to generate or create that item. Now, you will also have the option for sending it for PDF. Please realize that this is something that has to be custom set up within your specific thing. You don't want that going through our DocuSign account every time, right? So it has to be set up to connect to your e-signature platform. The day you get this installed, it's not magically just going to go. It does have to get hooked up there, okay? But you see after we generated that, it popped up here saying we added a file of that purchase agreement and just a little note confirming that you can click that link and it'll pop open, or at the bottom of the page, it will be attached here. Now, don't be worried if you scroll down and you look in the file and it's not there. That's just a matter of when something new gets created or attached, sometimes we need to come and hit the refresh button to see it on the page in Podio. That's just how it is with any web-based system. So now that I've refreshed, we'll see that file attached here at the bottom. And I can open up what I had here. I can just see that basic template. This template is also created and managed in that back-end system if you wanted to change any wording or anything for yours and not use the template that comes provided here, okay? But let's say we've got that and we checked it, all the numbers, everything looks good. We can either hook up and then send it for e-signature, or we might just send that PDF with an email. Sometimes we print it out and take it to a meeting with them. So we just have to mark whichever one that is. And then we want to make sure we confirm how it was delivered, whether it was an email or a physical mail. We can select multiple choices here, okay? And then little things like this offer sent timestamp. This is another example of that. You don't see it right there, but if I refresh the page, we can tell that the system actually did say this offer was sent, and it timestamps that automatically for us because I said I sent this, okay? So that is how the offer page works, and ultimately, if you get a signed version of that paperwork back, that's when you're going to come and you're going to click, hey, the offer has been accepted. Awesome. That's really one of the key metrics of a real estate investing business, right? How many offers are you actually getting accepted? And when you click that, it has another one of those automations, and you'll see that comment pop up and say, okay, it's been pushed now to the contracts app. We're under contract for this property. Go there to confirm any details. And when you click that, again, it's just a link that moves us forward through the system so that now we're in that contracts app. We've moved from a lead to an offer to the contract, and it's just gathering all the info as we go. What seller lead did we start with? Where's his offer file if I need to go back and reference it? Make sure that's the right address on the file here. And as of right now, this is under contract, okay? You'll update the status as things progress with this contract. Now, you'll see a bunch of fields here of things that we're tracking, okay? This trigger is important. It has a push to walkthrough and push to dispositions. Those are manual triggers simply because different teams do those in a different way. Some people walk through every property. Others only do a detailed walkthrough if they're planning to do a rehab project. Some people push it for dispositions as soon as it's under contract. They start working on their marketing and how they're going to sell this. Other people, they wait until everything's really locked in and they know for sure. And so that timing is going to be different for your company. And you just need to know what these triggers are here for when it's that time. We'll come back and look at these later. We'll have another training on the disposition app, but we're actually going to look at the walkthrough app in just a moment here in this training. Now, scrolling down the page, you can just see all the details here. This is financing status details that we've asked and we've tried to do our homework before now. But if we're under contract, we've got to double check and verify this stuff, like that occupancy. We can't just think we know. We need to verify, make sure we have the right things selected here. What's our game plan here? All of these things pretty self-explanatory that you'll just fill out, and you'll use this to enter in, things like your scope of work that you're planning on doing and putting all of that together, okay? If you have a buyer that you are lining up for this, you can tag them here, and then that way when you push it over to dispositions, it has that data already set up. If you want to work on appraisal details, in-house inspection details, pest inspection status, utility inspection. So you see all these sections are just here for your reference to record the information, keep track of everything. And this down here is just a better financial analysis for you to really take a look and say, at that square foot, this is what they wanted. This is going to be what we're selling it for. This is what we got under contract for, so we can tag our profit stuff. And it will also calculate here in a minute for us how much, what we're spending and making off of it, and these per square foot amounts for us. That just takes a minute for Podio to calculate it now that this new contract is created with all these details. Okay, but you use this and you track it and make sure, especially up here at the top with the deal status, you're keeping this up to date and you have everything in place. Okay. Now, if you are one that wants to schedule or set up a walkthrough for this property that you just got under contract, that's when you would use this trigger to push it to the walkthrough app. Just like our other trigger items, once you click that, it's actually starting a flow that is running in the background here to say, okay, because that button got clicked, do these steps. Create that walkthrough file, and it's going to tell us right here that our walkthrough is created. We can go there to take a look at it. Now, the purpose of these walkthrough files is really just to get detailed analysis and organized on walking through the property, knowing every little thing that needs to be done for this property. Okay, this one has some stuff that we're waiting on to load right here. I'll give it a second. Let me refresh the page. All right, still working on it. Sometimes Podio takes just a few extra seconds to load up. These are called calculation fields. They're the ones that make it look pretty or do some math for us or has some code in the background. But anyhow, we can see on this walkthrough sheet the contract that it came from. And we do have some triggers here that we can send it out to other people. And then we're just going to kind of schedule what people are involved. Who's the acquisition agent in charge of this walkthrough? When is that initial date scheduled? Who do we have coming as the renovation budget inspector? Who's taking a look at this with that eye to say, okay, here's how much this stuff's going to cost you? And if you have anybody else coming along as well. Put all that in here, and then we're just going to go and look through the breakdown of this. I am going to pause for just a second while these fields load. It'll just help understand the sheet a little better if we can see it with all of those pieces in place. So give us just a moment here. All right, so we can see now a little better how the page is broken out. And you just have a bunch of sections on here to track, confirm your property details, confirm your budget totals and what's going on with those finances, okay? Then we're going to look at our renovation breakdown. As we walk through the house, we're going to say, what do we think we need for an actual plumbing budget here? HVAC, electrical, etc. Each of these we're going to walk through, be punching it in, and we also have spots for our photos. Pro tip on the photo piece, we actually like to do the photos saved to a Google Drive folder, and then we come and we just link that Google Drive folder here as a web address. That just keeps it a little cleaner instead of having, 30, 40 files attached as individual photos on this walkthrough page. So use this just to get organized, have all your details, but ultimately this is just off to the side to get all that scheduled, and you're going to end up going back to the related contract to make sure everything's in order and in place and that you actually close on this deal and take care of the contract for that A to B acquisition side of things. And we're going to come back later. We're going to look at the B to C or that disposition side. But now we have reviewed, if we just go back to this main window, we've really looked so far at the majority of what happens in your Podio workspace. We've looked at how you track the campaigns, the marketing receipts, enter your leads, track your sellers. make offers, get those accepted to become contracts, do your walkthrough and get that organized. And then it's just going to be that disposition side, who you're selling that out to, how you report on it, and a couple other cool features like drip sequences and other automations there. So we're excited to continue those trainings and make sure everything gets covered with you on that.